Hello viewers, myself I am K. Bhaskar, working as Assistant Professor in Department of Chemistry at SRR Government Arts and Science College, Karimnagar. In this video, I am going to give a presentation on the topic that is nitrohydrocarbons, that is nitroalkanes, right? And if you look at the slide, these are the learning outcomes. By the end of this video, we will get the information about these items, right? That means by the end of the presentation, we will learn about the nitroalkanes, what is the definition of nitroalkanes, and how to give the nomenclature for these compounds, as well as what is the isomerism in these compounds, and what is the classification of nitroalkanes. At the same time, we will also learn the concept of tautomerism and tautomerism in nitroalkanes. At last, that is preparation of nitroalkanes. How to prepare the nitroalkanes. So before going into the topic, here is a question for you. You can see in the slide. The question is, what do you know about the functional group? Right, this is a basic question. Already at the 10th class level as well as in intermediate level, you will know what is the functional group. Just I am recollecting you once again, because this is the very basic term. One should have clear idea about this term, right? What is functional group? Functional group is nothing but it is an atom or a group which defines the properties of the compound, right? That means due to the presence of an atom or a group in a compound, if the compound gets characteristic properties to the compound, then that group is called as functional group, right? For example, double bond, that is alkene, triple bond, alkynes, OH group, hydroxy group, alcohols, right? Chloro group, aldehyde, carboxylic acid, amides, nitro, amines, cyano, isocyano. So these are the various functional groups. Due to the presence of these groups in the compound will get characteristic properties, right? At last, we can define in a short way that functional group is nothing but it is an atom or a group which defines the characteristic properties of the compound. That is called functional group. In this video presentation, we are talking about the nitrohydrocarbons. That means in this the functional group is nitro group, right? And we are going to study what properties will the compound get due to the presence of nitro group, and how to give the nomenclature, what are the classification, and at the same time how to prepare the compound. Now we are going to list out one by one in the coming slides. Right, you can see here nitrohydrocarbons. The topic is nitrohydrocarbons. What are nitrohydrocarbons? Hydrocarbon is nothing but generally alkanes, right? So nitroalkanes are nothing but they are regarded as the nitro derivatives of alkanes. They are the nitro derivatives of alkanes. That means if you replace the hydrogen atom in an alkane with the nitro group, then we will get the nitroalkane. Nitroalkanes are regarded as, defined as nitro derivatives of alkanes. By replacing the hydrogen atoms in the alkanes with the nitro group, then we will get the nitroalkanes, right? And if you look at the nomenclature of the nitroalkanes, the IUPAC name is nitroalkane. According to the IUPAC, first we will write the prefix in which we will write the name of the substituent. First, the IUPAC name starts with the prefix, in which we will write the name of the substituent, followed by the root word that indicates alk, which tells us the number of carbons in the compound, that is the number of carbons in the main chain of the compound, right? That is root word. Then followed by primary suffix. Primary suffix tells us the double bond or triple bond or single bond, that tells us the saturation or unsaturation in the given compound. That is the primary suffix. Followed by at last secondary suffix, which indicates the principal functional group given in the molecule. So overall, generally we will write the name of a compound according to the IUPAC nomenclature in this way. First, there is a prefix in which we will write the substituent in alphabetical manner. Then there is a root word which indicates the number of carbons. Then primary suffix which indicates the saturation or unsaturation, followed by secondary suffix which tells us the principal functional group. But right now here we are going to concentrate on how to give the nomenclature for the nitroalkanes. So in this we are saying nitro is a functional group. No doubt nitro is a functional group. So it defines the properties if at all it is connected to a carbon in a compound. Nitro is a functional group. Due to the presence of nitro group in a compound, the compound will get characteristic properties to the compound. So therefore nitro is a functional group, no doubt in it. But according to the IUPAC rules, nitro is treated as a substituent. Always, while giving the nomenclature, usually all the functional groups are written in the secondary suffix. But except few functional groups like nitro, chloro, amine, nitro, chloro, amine. These three functional groups usually we will treat them as substituents and we will write their name in the prefix. That means nitroalkane, chloroalkane, aminoalkane. In this way, even though these three are functional groups, but according to the IUPAC nomenclature, we will write them in the prefix, right? If you see the first example, in the first example we are having two carbon atoms. The root word indicates for the two carbon atoms is eth. There is no double bond in it, therefore it is ethane. And here nitro is a substituent present on the first carbon, so that is nitroethane. In the second molecule we are having three carbon atoms in a chain, therefore the root word is prop. There is no unsaturation, therefore propane, nitropropane. The nomenclature for the second compound is nitropropane. For the third compound, nitrobutane, because there are four carbon atoms in the chain. Fourth one, if you see the fourth one, the number of carbon atoms in the main chain is 3, therefore propane. But here our substituent, that is nitro group, is at the second position. If you give the numbering from the any side of the end, then we will get the carbon atom attached to the nitro group will get the second number. Therefore it is 2-nitropropane. And coming to the nomenclature for the last compound, here there are only 3 carbon atoms in the main chain and having 2 substituents. One is methyl group, another one is nitro group, right? So here the nitro group is at the first position, the methyl group is at the second position. Therefore the nomenclature for this is 1-nitro 2-methyl propane. So in this way, always here there is a note for you is always, even though the nitro is a functional group, according to the IUPAC nomenclature rules, the nitro is always written in the prefix, that means treated as a substituent, right? And coming to the isomerism, these nitroalkanes exhibit various types of isomerism, right? Already we have well known very much about the concept of isomerism. This isomerism concept is nothing but it is a phenomenon of existence of two or more than two compounds having same chemical formula, but they differ in their properties. Properties in the sense physical property, chemical property, biological property, or all the three types of properties. Right? This phenomenon of existence of two or more than two compounds having same chemical formula but which differ in their properties is known as isomerism, and those compounds are called as isomers. Right? Why these isomers differ in the properties? Because due to the difference in the arrangement of the groups within the molecule, they differ in their properties. Usually this isomerism is of majorly classified into two types: structural isomerism, stereoisomerism. What is structural isomerism? In structural isomers, the isomers have same chemical formula but they differ in the structure due to the difference in the bond connections. That means bond sequence. Those are called as structural isomers, and these structural isomers differ in their physical chemical properties. Right? Again, these structural isomers are in organic compounds is classified into various types, like you can see in the slide: chain isomerism, that is chain isomers, positional isomers, functional isomers. Along with these, we can also see in organic compounds, we can also see other isomers like metamers, ring isomers, like that. Okay, but coming to our topic, that is nitroalkanes. Nitroalkanes exhibit three types of isomerism, that is chain isomerism, positional isomerism, functional group isomerism. So all these will come under structural isomerism. All these are structural isomers. They differ in the bond connections. If you look at the first example in the two given compounds, if you look at the chain, in the first compound we are having 4 carbons in the main chain, but whereas in the second compound we are having only 3 carbons in the main chain. There is a difference in the chain, right? The first compound name is nitrobutane, second is 1-nitro-2-methyl propane, right? So due to the difference in the main chain, these structural isomers are called as chain isomers. So we can define chain isomers as a structural isomers having same chemical formula which differ in the properties due to the difference in their main chain, right? Structural isomers having difference in their chain, main chain, are called as chain isomers. Coming to the second, that is positional isomers. In this, the chain is same, right? The chain is same. Both are having 3 carbons in the main chain. But if you look at the position of the nitro group, in the first compound the nitro group is at the first carbon, but whereas in the second compound the nitro group is at the second position. Therefore, whichever the structural isomers having same chain but there is a difference in the substituent, then those structural isomers are called as positional isomers. Positional isomers, you remember here, positional isomers always have same chain, but there is a difference in the position of the substituent, right? Finally, functional isomers. So these are the structural isomers having same chemical formula, but they differ in the type of functional group, right? In the first compound you can see the functional group is nitro. In the second compound you can see the functional group is nitrite, ethyl nitrite. The second compound is ethyl nitrite. The first compound is nitroethane. Both are having same chemical formula, but there is a difference in the bond sequence. Those are called structural isomers, and they come under functional isomers because these structural isomers are having different functional groups. Therefore, they are functional isomers. Right? In this way, we can say that nitroalkanes exhibit various type of isomers, that is chain isomers having different main chains, positional isomers having same main chain but differ in the position of the substituent. Finally, functional isomers They differ in the functional group present in them. Coming to the classification of the nitroalkanes. Just now we have said that nitroalkanes are nothing but the derivatives of the nitro derivatives of the alkanes. Those are called as nitroalkanes. So based on the substituent, that is based on the nature of the carbon chain, based on the nature of the carbon part, the nitroalkanes are classified into two types. If you see in the first one, that is aliphatic nitroalkanes. That means in this the nature of the carbon part is aliphatic. That means open chain, aliphatic. Therefore this is come under aliphatic nitroalkanes. In this the alkyl group is of aliphatic in nature. Whereas coming to the second one, that is aromatic nitroalkanes, in this the carbon part is cyclic, which is of in aromatic nature. Here the carbon part is a aromatic ring. The carbon part is a aromatic in nature, aromatic cyclic ring. So those will come under aromatic nitroalkanes. Right? Aromatic nitroalkanes are obtained by the replacement of hydrogen atom on the aromatic ring with the nitro group. Those are called as aromatic nitroalkanes. And you should not confuse with the another type of nitroalkane, that is the last one you can see in this slide. Here the compound is having aromatic ring in it, but our nitro group is not directly attached to the cyclic aromatic ring. Right? Here the nitro group is attached to the CH2 group, right? That is benzyl carbon. Such type of nitroalkanes are called as aryl substituted nitroalkanes. They are not aromatic nitroalkanes because in this compound nitro group is not directly attached to the aromatic ring. Right? Right. If you look at this slide, our aliphatic nitroalkanes are also further classified into three types based on the nature of the carbon which is attached to the nitro group. That is primary nitroalkanes, secondary nitroalkanes, tertiary nitroalkanes. Similar to that of alcohols and amines, our nitroalkanes are also classified into primary, secondary, tertiary nitroalkanes. This classification is based on the nature of the carbon atom which is attached to the nitro group. If you look at this, the first example, here the nature of carbon is primary. Right? If you look at the first example, primary nitroalkane, right side you can see the circle. That carbon is a primary carbon because that carbon is attached to only one alkyl group. That is a primary carbon, and that carbon is attached to nitro group. Therefore it is a primary nitroalkane. In the second example, in this, the nature of carbon attached to the nitro group is secondary carbon. Therefore it is a secondary nitroalkane. Final last example you can see in this, that is a tertiary nitroalkane. Because in this, if you look at the nature of the carbon attached to the nitro group, that carbon is attached to further three alkyl groups. That carbon is a tertiary carbon. Therefore our nitroalkane is a tertiary nitroalkane. So in this way, based on the nature of the carbon atom attached to the nitro group, our nitroalkanes are classified into three types: primary nitroalkane, secondary nitroalkane, tertiary nitroalkane. Coming to the structure of nitroalkane, if you look at the nitro group that is NO2 group, in this group the nitrogen is having one double bond connected to the oxygen and as well as one coordinate covalent bond connected to the oxygen. And if you look at the resonance structures which given at the below of this slide, that is here the coordinate covalent bond is also written as simple covalent bond by mentioning the positive sign on the donor atom, that is nitrogen, and the negative sign on the acceptor atom, that is oxygen. That is, minus charge will get on the oxygen, positive charge will get on the nitrogen. So we can write the nitro group in two ways, either by writing the coordinate covalent bond, showing it by arrow mark, or by writing the coordinate covalent bond with the positive sign on the nitrogen atom, negative sign on the oxygen atom. And this negative charge present on the oxygen will involve in the resonance, so that what happens here, the minus charge will be shifted to the adjacent oxygen atom by the resonance, right? So due to the presence of the positive charge on the nitrogen atom, which you can see from the resonance structures, this nitro group will act as a powerful withdrawing group. It is a powerful withdrawing group, right? So this nitro group is a minus IE group, as well as it is a minus ME group. IE means inductive effect. This is a minus IE group, whereas it is a minus ME group. ME means mesomeric effect. So due to this minus IE and minus ME nature of nitro, as well as due to the presence of positive charge on the nitro group, which you can see from the resonance structures, this nitro group is a powerful withdrawing group. It is a powerful withdrawing group. So whichever the carbon attached to the powerful withdrawing group will become active. So in the slide you can see I have marked the carbon that is attached to the nitro group as a active carbon. That carbon is very much active, very much reactive in the reactions. So therefore, if you look at the various reactions of nitroalkanes, the reactions will take place at this active carbon. This carbon is very much reactive because it is directly attached to the withdrawing group. This carbon will become active during the reactions. Such type of carbon is called as active carbon. Usually the carbon which is attached to the withdrawing group is called as active carbon. Here our nitro group is also a withdrawing group. Therefore this carbon adjacent to it is called as active carbon. Usually the numbering, if you give the numbering, the carbon attached to the functional group will be given as alpha, right? Followed by beta, gamma, like that. So this adjacent carbon to the nitro group is given as alpha numbering. So this alpha carbon is an active carbon which readily involves in the reactions during the various properties of the reactions, right? How to identify the withdrawing group? Generally, which functional group is called as withdrawing group? Usually the functional groups having double bond in them will act as a withdrawing group. Double bond having functional groups will act as a withdrawing group, right? Coming to the tautomerism, right? Before going into the details of tautomerism in nitroalkanes, just I would like to recollect you about the popular tautomerism, that is keto-enol tautomerism. You can see in this slide I have shown you a tautomerism in keto functional group. At the left side of the slide you can see there is a keto group, right? So in this the alpha carbon hydrogen will be shifted to the oxygen atom by the resonance, right? So due to the shifting, due to the migration of the hydrogen atom from the alpha carbon atom to the oxygen, we will get a new compound, that is, you can see in the right side, which is having both the double bond as well as hydroxy functional group. It is having two functional groups, double bond which is ene, hydroxy group which is ol. Together we will call it as a enol, ene-ol, enol, having double bond as well as hydroxy functional group, that is called enol, enol, right? The keto form of this compound has been converted to enol form by the shift of hydrogen atom from one position to the other position. Yes or no? Yes. So these two are interconvertible compounds. These two are interconvertible compounds and they are readily interconvertible. And if you look at the formula of these two compounds, that is keto form and enol form, the formula is same but the structure is different, right? So the two or more than two compounds having same chemical formula but which differ in their structure and which differ in their properties are called as isomers. So no doubt these two are isomers because they are having same chemical formula but differ in their structure and differ in their properties. Left side it is having keto, right side it is having enol functional group. Therefore their properties are different. Therefore they are isomers. And these are structural isomers because there is a difference in the bond sequence, bond connections. There is a difference in the bond connections. At the left side if you see C double bond O is there. At the right side C single bond OH is there. At the left side there is no C double bond C. At the right side there is a C double bond C. So in this way there is a difference in the bond connections. Such type of isomers are called as structural isomers. And these structural isomers are readily interconvertible. Just now I have told you that the keto form will be readily converted to enol form by the transfer of hydrogen atom from one position to the other position. Such type of structural isomers which are readily interconvertible are called as tautomers. And this phenomenon is called as tautomerism. Right, now you got the idea about the tautomerism. Tautomerism is nothing but it is a readily interconvertible structural isomerism. That is called tautomerism. Tautomerism is nothing but readily interconvertible isomers are called as tautomers. The isomers which are readily interconvertible are called as tautomers and the phenomenon is called as tautomerism. Right, here these two are isomers, structural isomers which are readily interconvertible. Therefore these are called as structural tautomers. These are called as structural tautomers. They are in the state of dynamic equilibrium. They are in the state of dynamic equilibrium. That means keto form is converted to enolic form is converted into keto form. And if you look at the tautomerism concept, this is somewhat different to that of resonance. Actually the resonance as well as tautomerism, these are two different phenomena. They are not one and same, which you can clearly understand from this slide. If you look at this, below I have given the resonance structures of benzene. That is, these two are Kekulé structures, right? So we will get these resonance structures by the involvement, by the shifting of pi bonds in them. Whereas in tautomerism, these two forms we will get them by the shifting of an hydrogen atom from one position to the other position. So if you look at the major differences between the tautomerism and resonance, you can come to the following conclusions. That is, in tautomerism, if you look at the tautomerism, this is due to the transfer of hydrogen atom from one position to the other position. Whereas in resonance, this is due to this involves the transfer of, that is migration of pi bonds, pi electrons only. Right? This is the major difference. Coming to the second difference, the tautomers are real. That means in the laboratory we can identify the existence of each form of the tautomer. But whereas the resonance structures are imaginary, we cannot prove the presence of resonance structures in the laboratory. Their existence, we cannot prove their existence practically. So those are imaginary. But whereas tautomers are real, we can prove their presence, prove their existence practically. Right? This is the second difference. Coming to the third difference, in tautomers, if you look at the tautomers, they are in dynamic equilibrium. Whereas resonance, there is no question of equilibrium between the two resonance structures. And the fourth difference is in tautomers there is no effect of, for the tautomers there is no effect of bond length, but whereas in resonance there is the effect of bond length. That means this benzene is having 3 pi bonds, right, and 3 single bonds in the ring. But if you look at the bond length, it is average, that is in between the average of, it is the average of double bond and single bond. That means there is an effect of bond length in resonance, but whereas there is no effect of bond length in tautomers. And coming to the stability, these resonance structures increases the stability of the compound, but the tautomers, for the tautomers there is no effect of stability based on the tautomerism. There is no effect of stability by the tautomerism, but by the resonance the stability affects, right? And if you look at the another difference, the tautomers are indicated by the, you can see indicated by the right harp over the left harp arrow, that is reversible arrow. But whereas the resonance structures are separated by the double arrow, left arrow as well as right arrow, left and right arrow, right? And if you look at the another point, that is, if you look at the another point between the tautomerism and resonance, due to the resonance, just now we have told that stability, it affects the stability. That means higher the resonance energy, higher the stability, lower the resonance energy, lower the stability. But there is no such effect in tautomerism, right? These are the major differences between the tautomerism and resonance, right? Right. Coming to the tautomerism in nitroalkanes, similar to that of keto-enol tautomerism, in our nitroalkanes there is a shift of hydrogen atom takes place from the alpha carbon atom to the oxygen atom, right? So thereby what happens? We will get the two isomers which are readily interconvertible. At the left side you can see nitroform, which is converted to aciform by the shifting of an hydrogen atom from one position to the other position, right? So such type of compounds having same chemical formula but which differ in their properties are called as isomers, and these isomers are called as structural isomers because they differ in their bond connections. So these are structural isomers. And just now I have defined you that what are tautomers? The isomers which are readily interconvertible by the shifting of atom from one position to the other position, right? Such type of isomers are called as tautomers. So therefore we can say that the nitro and Ace forms are nothing but tautomers because these two are structural isomers, readily interconvertible, and during this readily interconvertibility there is a involvement of shifting of an atom from one position to the other position. Generally we will see the hydrogen atom will be shifted from one position to the other position during the tautomerism, right? So you can see nitroform is converted to aciform, right? This nitroform is called as pseudo acid, whereas aciform is called as nitrolic acid, which we will see in detail in the coming slides, right? Right. From the previous slide we can conclude that nitroalkanes having at least one alpha hydrogen atom will involve in the tautomerism. Yes, because that alpha hydrogen only involves in the shift from one position to the other position, so that we will get two tautomers, right? If you look at the tautomerism in three types of nitroalkanes, that is primary nitroalkane, secondary nitroalkane, tertiary nitroalkane. Let us see which nitroalkane will exhibit tautomerism and which nitroalkane do not exhibit tautomerism. Right, in the slide you see the first one is the primary nitroalkane, in which the nature of carbon attached to nitro group is of primary. The second one is the secondary nitroalkane, in which the nature of carbon attached to the nitro group is of secondary. And finally the last one is tertiary nitroalkane, in which the nature of carbon attached to the nitro group is tertiary. Right, in primary nitroalkane, first example you can see left side, it is having two active hydrogens on alpha carbon atom. Right, in secondary nitroalkane, that is second example, left side you can see it is having one active hydrogen atom, whereas in tertiary nitroalkane, that is third example, you can see it has no active hydrogens on the alpha carbon atom. So therefore we can say that finally primary and secondary nitroalkanes will involve in tautomerism because they are having active hydrogens on the alpha carbon atom. Therefore by shifting of the hydrogen atom, that is active hydrogen atom present on the alpha carbon, both the primary as well as secondary nitroalkanes will form SE form. You can see in the first example, primary nitroalkane involved in tautomerism because it has two active hydrogens, therefore it involved in tautomerism. You can see it has formed another tautomer, that is SE form. Right, in the second example you can see this is a secondary nitroalkane, it has one active hydrogen atom which has involved in tautomerism to give another tautomer, that is another form, that is SE form. But whereas in third one, that is tertiary nitroalkane, it has no active hydrogens on the alpha carbon, therefore there is no tautomerism for this nitroalkane. Finally we can say that in single word, nitroalkanes having at least one alpha hydrogen atom will involve in the tautomerism. Right? Right. Coming to the preparations of nitroalkanes. Nitroalkanes are prepared in four ways. Right? The first one is from alkyl halides. You can see here the alkyl halide is subjected to the silver nitrate. Right? This alkyl halide is subjected to the alcoholic solution of silver nitrite. Usually in this what happens, the bromide group is substituted with the nitro group. Right? This is a substitution reaction. In this method also leads to the formation of some alkyl nitrite, which is the functional isomer of this nitroalkane. Right? The proportion of the alkyl nitrite formed in the reaction increases with the increase in the length of the carbon chain. Right? And usually in case of preparation of secondary and tertiary nitroalkanes, in this method what happens? There is a increase in the formation of the alkyl nitrite also. So thereby we can say that in this method, along with the formation of the desired nitroalkane, there will be formation of some alkyl nitrite. But the proportion of the formation of this alkyl nitrite increases with the increase in the chain of the carbon, as well as in case of preparation of secondary and tertiary nitroalkanes. Of course, we know if we look at the nature of nitroalkane and alkyl nitrite, These two are functional groups, no doubt, functional isomers. But if you look at the polarity of these two compounds, no doubt our nitroalkane is more polar in nature compared to the alkyl nitrite. Alkyl nitrite, right? So our nitroalkanes will have higher boiling point compared to the alkyl nitrite. Due to the difference in the boiling point of the nitroalkane and an alkyl nitrites, we can easily separate them by using the physical technique, that is fractional distillation. Based on the fractional distillation, we can separate the mixture of compounds, that is alkyl nitrite as well as nitroalkane, because they differ in their boiling points, right? The second method you can see, that is direct nitration of alkanes. In this, what happens? The higher alkanes, when we subject the higher alkanes with the nitric acid, what happens? Again we will get the different mixture of nitroalkanes, which we can separate them by the fractional distillation. In this method, what do we do? Generally, the alkane is subjected to nitric acid at higher temperature. At higher temperature only, upon heating only, we will get the desired nitroalkane. Coming to the third preparation method, that is, we can also prepare the nitroalkanes from alpha halocarboxylic acids. And in this, you can see our starting material is carboxylic acid, which is treated with the, this carboxylic acid is treated with the chlorine in presence of phosphorus. What happens here? The alpha hydrogen atom is replaced with the chlorine atom. That means the chlorination takes place at the alpha carbon atom. What is alpha carbon? Alpha carbon is nothing but the carbon which is attached to the withdrawing group. Here the withdrawing group is carboxylic acid functional group. The adjacent methyl group is called as alpha carbon. So in the first step, what happened here? There is a alpha chlorination has been taken place, right? So this compound is called as alpha chloroacetic acid. Alpha chloroacetic acid, which upon further treating with the sodium nitrite, what happened here? There is a formation of alpha nitro acetic acid. That means here there is a replacement of chlorine atom with the nitro group, right? So this alpha nitroacetic acid, when we heat it, what happens? There is a loss of carbon dioxide to form the our desired nitroalkane product, right? So in this way we can also prepare the nitroalkanes. What we have do here? We have first initially we have taken the carboxylic acid, which has been subjected to the chlorine in presence of phosphorus, in which chlorination takes place at alpha position. This is also called as HVZ reaction. It is a named reaction. Hell-Volhard-Jelensky reaction, HVZ reaction. So alpha chlorination takes place, followed by treating with sodium nitrate. Nitro group is replaced in the position of chlorine atom, and in this further heating, the carbon dioxide has been lost to give our desired nitroalkane. Coming to the fourth preparation method, that is oxidation. You can see here, this is a primary amine having tertiary carbon. The carbon is of tertiary nature, but the amine is the primary amine. It is an example of primary amine having a tertiary carbon. When it is oxidized with potassium permanganate, the amine group is converted to nitro group, right? In this way, by the above four methods, we can prepare the nitroalkanes. And if you summarize what you have just learned about the nitroalkanes, we can summarize as follows. Yes. So the important points which we have learned after the completion of the video presentation, the important points are: that is nitroalkanes are of two types, aliphatic, aromatic. Aliphatic nitroalkanes are again classified into three types, primary, secondary, tertiary nitroalkanes. These are classified based on the nature of the carbon atom attached to the nitro group. Again, this nitro group is a withdrawing group, and this nitro group involves in the tautomerism, and we have also covered the differences between the tautomerism and resonance. At the same time, we have covered the preparation of nitroalkanes using four methods, that is from the alkyl halide when it is subjected to silver nitrite. The second one is direct nitration with the direct nitration of the hydrocarbons. The third one is from the alpha halo acids. When we treat with the sodium nitrate followed by heating, we will get the desired nitroalkane. The fourth one is oxidation of primary amine having tertiary carbon subjected to oxidation with the potassium permanganate. So these are the important points just we have covered in this video presentation. Now I think you are feeling comfort with the concept which we have covered in this video presentation, that is the difference between the tautomerism and resonance structure, and what is nitroalkanes, what are the isomerism involved in nitroalkanes, all these things. And finally, if you have any doubts, just put your questions in the comment section, which will be given answered later. Finally, thank you for going through the video presentation. At last, here is a proverb for you: nurture the nature for the future.